Howdy, it's me, Manic Mark, coming to you from the bunker system located somewhere underneath the Art Villa, somewhere in the chunk. Oh, jeez. I messed that up. Never mind! It doesn't matter anymore, right? I just wanted to point out that I didn't throw away in the purge the Smiter. The Smiter I crafted out of parts and welded together as its smoter. See, I was never, if you smite someone, does the person you smite become smoted? I don't know. I don't know. You're just being silly. It's kind of. Anyway, if anybody breaks into the house, I'm just going to whack them with this, so when the cops come over and they say, "What did he do?" I'm going to say, "I smote them. They broke into my house and they couldn't be trusted, so I smote them." And the cop will say, "Do you mean smited?" No! It'll be, then they'll handcuff me because there'll be a problem with, never mind. Okay, go on. And I didn't throw away this other thing I made, which is this candle holder. It's for offerings, not for any black magic. Not for any of that. It was all in good fun. Never mind. Okay, that reminds me of my wife's getting ready for work this morning. And I hear this, "Oh my God, oh my God, oh my God." I'm like, "What?" I run in thinking there's going to have to be something I'm going to have to clean up and take care of. Like a spider or snake or something. "Oh, there's some girl who was in a gang and they said they cut her arm open so they could all drink her blood." Really? Drink her blood? "Yeah, drink her blood. That wasn't enough for the other gang members, so they said, 'Can we cut your finger off?' And she said, 'Hell yeah, go for it. I'm all a part of the gang. I'm all for the gang. I want to be a gang member.' So they cut her entire little finger off. And then they're like, 'Oh, you're bleeding. You got to do something about that.' So I said, 'Well, what did they do?' "Well, they, I can't, there were two things they tried. One of the things they tried to do was like to seal it with a blowtorch. That's not working. What are we going to do now?" You take her to the hospital, and she said she was angry. The girl was angry about something, like, I don't know, that they cut her finger. Then she was angry that they cut her finger. I don't know. Anyway, that's what happened this morning. I'm coming mainly to you with, there's something else, but it has completely gone out of my head, so of course that's to be expected. A stack of records. Oh my God, I can hardly lift them. Where were you yesterday? That's right. I took my truck in for the first service. Apparently it wasn't 5,000 miles. It was 6 months and or 5,000 miles. So I get a notice in the mail, which is good. And so you buy a new truck and they do a few things for you. And I don't think it's, of course, because they care about you. No, I think they're trying to get you into the system with this free warranty type service deals, you know, get you comfortable with going to the dealer. So they're just going to rotate the tires. What? I've never rotated tires. I've never had a vehicle that suffered from not having the tires rotated. Okay, because most of my vehicles are, you know, were just leaf springs, 4 of them. So all the tires are basically, you know, there's some turning. But I'm not like going from side. People drive like this and they go around the corners and side to side and they put a lot of stress on the vehicles. I don't. I just try to keep it nice. And so I've never really had any super wear problem. I just like 50,000 miles and the tire's gone. Most people don't get that because the car tires are a lot less. But the truck tires, you get a lot more miles on. Okay, so what the hell? Change it. So everybody that works there kind of looks like they just got out of prison. It's like, you know, or just could be, that could just be the look these days for all young people working. Like they just get out of prison. I don't know. What do I know? I don't know anything. You just make it up. No, well, they were kind of some hard looking. It's fine. The 2 guys that checked me in were like bumblers. They were bumbling. I'm like, oh, this is okay. And I go to leave and they're driving my truck around the lot like this in circles. I said, "What, they're driving around in circles?" "Well, we don't like to leave things parked right." Okay, whatever. That's fine. So he drives back. I get in. Everything's fine. Oh, but they do a maintenance reset on this little computer screen. There's 2 computer screens. There's like the iPad size screen with all the app buttons and the radio buttons and stuff like that. And there's another little one that you don't touch. like about the size of an eye touch that you don't touch. In between the speedometer and the oh my God, what the hell? There's actually a RPM gauge. And it was like, it had this weird thing like, well, you can mess with this when you're stopped, safely stopped. I'm like, oh, so it's like they did a maintenance reset on the thing, whatever, why, I don't know. Anyway, they didn't put it back the way I had it. It took me a while to figure it out because it's been a while since I figured it out. This was so exciting. Just me sitting here in the bunker all by myself, yapping. Get to the records because there's a million of them. Okay, so then, okay, that was part of the story. After that, I decided, well, I'm pretty close to my dentist, and there's a thrift store there, so I'd stop at the thrift store, which I never find anything in, and found this huge stack of records. So I go to check the records out at the counter, and the woman's like, not used to people buying these many records. Oh, well, you about cleaned us out today. This is St. Vincent de Paul, not some privately owned thrift shop. St. Vincent de Paul, church run. Anyway, yeah, you about cleaned us out. I said, well, you finally put some records out for me. And she kind of looked at me. And I said, well, that was nice to put some records out. There are a lot of records, so I got some. And she kind of looked at me and she goes, well, do you resell these? And I thought, that's a loaded question. I wonder how I should answer that question. I'm like, well, you know, mostly they just go into my collection. I have thousands of records at home. She looked at me. And I said, well, the ones I don't like, you know, sometimes I'll try to resell or I redonate. I donate them again. It's just like I'm renting records from you. And she kind of looked at me, shook her head, and she said, well, whatever floats your boat. And that was a dismissive statement. I didn't really care for that. I think, well, you know, everybody's got to have a hobby. A little confrontation there with the clerk. And she said, well, do you listen to all those? And I said, I listen to every one of them. I love records. I walked out with my stack of records I'm going to share with you right now. One of the records, and not just one, but more than one, Arthur Lyman records. And some of them I believe I don't have, although it's hard for me to remember what I have and what I don't have. Arthur Lyman, Isle of Enchantment. I don't know what I'm going to share today. I'm not sure if I should share these. They're so popular. That's trees in the way. You got to move that tree. Well, you didn't move everything where you could get to everything, did you? No, there's still a few things in the way. Another Arthur Lyman, In the Shrink. Oh my God, I'm so lucky. And I don't have this one. It's Arthur Lyman's I-L-I-K-A-I. And there he is again on the back, Arthur Lyman. That'll be great fun, okay? Should I just go through and pick out all the Arthur Lymans right now? No, that will take too much time. I'll have to cut it out. So we'll just go to whatever's next. And it's a private press record published here in Cincinnati at Queen City album called Tenderly by Simon Peter. This is volume 2, but volume 1 happens to be stuck in here, so I don't have the cover for volume 1, but I've got both records in the volume 2 jacket. So if you for all their records and publications, whoever this guy is, Simon Peter, one of the Cameron family. I think it's a gospel sing-along record or something. Anyway, it says to contact him in Youngstown, Ohio, and or Peterhead, Aberdeenshire, Scotland. That's right. That's quite a. I go to Scotland to vacation or winter over or whatever. I don't know. I come to Youngstown to winter over or vacation. I'm not sure. Boy, you went on and on about that one, didn't you? Yes, I did. Sizzling Stars, Castanets. Castanets? Castanettas? Castanets. And percussion. I'm sure I've got this one, but it was such a nice mini fresh example that I picked it up again just in case I didn't. I've got this one. Yeah, I think I'll leave the shrink on it, even though it's almost off. It's the Walls Quartet. I bought it as a speculation. Now, the last time I bought a local gospel album, and this is a good one, by the way, I remember it's one of the first ones I blogged, so there's information on this I think that I can, instead of having to go look for the other one, which I'll never find, I've got a copy now that I do have a copy of, which can be located, which is the one that's in my anyway, where was I going with that? Oh, so I bought that one sealed record to sell on eBay, you know, because I sold another one that wasn't sealed. This one's sealed and nobody's bid on it. So I did in fact sell that record to the only person in the world that wanted it. So now I'm left with the one I bought as a speculative. Never mind. Go on. It's Holiday in Brazil. I think I've got this one too. It's on Mayfair, but I don't know if I've got it on this fabulous yellow vinyl. And I don't know if it was on Mayfair or on another label. Holiday in Brazil. Nestor Amarella and his Continentals, right? I'm sure. No, that's not right. It's a Three Sons cover that I've never seen on RCA, My Reverie. There's some great tunes on this, like Laura, Jet, Intermezzo, Smoke Rings, and stuff like that. And it's just, so it's an early Three Sons, which I think it is. Oh, there's a date on this, right? 1956. It's as old as me, Manic Mark, this record, 1956, with a terrific cover on it that I've never seen. That was fun to find. Speaking of sealed gospel records, here's one, and this is a group out of Mason, Ohio, and or Middletown, Ohio, right there. That was fun to find. And I have this record, Raymond Orchestra, or I don't have this record, but I've got another record with this image on the front of it, maybe a Tops, I don't remember, and also on luscious yellow vinyl. That's right. So I have to investigate what other kind of copies of that I have. All right, the Fantabulous Brass. Okay, a budget record. What's it on? Who's it on? Metro. That wasn't a real budget label, was it? Apparently it was. Anyway, they got on the Now Sound Brass, or the Herb Alpert Brass sound thing. Anyway, I don't have it. Picked it up. Why not? It's a George Shearing quintet with string choir, and surely I have this one too, but I couldn't remember, so I picked it up. Satin Affair, great cover, one of the great Capitol Shearing covers. Nice to have. I don't remember picking that one up again. Speaking of cheesecake covers, here's another one. That's right, it's Vera. Doing great songs like Yankee Doodle and Sunday school songs, and then more songs. So the last song is more songs, so she didn't have a title for the last song, so she just said, well, there's more. I don't know what to call it, but there's more at the end of the record. More songs, at least another song, and then maybe there's more than one. Who knows? In the Name of Jesus, Rise Up and Walk. A Reverend Dallas Alexander on Artist Records out of Cincinnati, Ohio. He's from Oxford, Ohio. And you never tell. It's not just preaching, it's singing, and sometimes you can be really surprised by those kind of records. All right. The Smith Quartet, out of, it's a Lemco label, which is kind of a real off label here in town. Don't know who made the record, there's no information on it. Let the Church Roll On. That's an interesting title. I've never heard that used in gospel records, that roll on, so I don't know what that means. Although, with all these guys on the front of it, it's probably not going to be any good. I'm just saying. And a copy of Westminster's Taboo. How fabulous is that? Okay, I've got this one. Unfortunately, this one's got a seam split, a little bit of a seam split. I think it's pretty clean. It's a pretty clean copy, pretty clean. Picked it up again. Why not? Great cover. I've got a copy of this too, but I picked it up again. Another Arthur Lyman. It's the Taboo album. Fabulous Arthur Lyman Taboo. All right. Fun to pick up another copy of that. Charles Ives. None Such. Nice surprise. Xavier Cugat album I do not have from 1959. Jelikonkugi. Right? Okay. Keep rolling. Keep rolling. You're not done yet. The Southern Airs. Okay. That's a kind of a nice stock cover. The Southerners were out of Dayton, Ohio, or at least they recorded out of Dayton, Ohio. I've got 2 or 3 of their albums, but I don't have this one, and it was pretty good stuff. The studio out of Dayton, Ohio, Mega Sound, there was not real, that, it was in somebody's basement, and they didn't have real, anyway. Go on, it's Jim Fair Singers. The Jim Fair Singers, it's also Cincinnati. These folks were out of Lebanon. Okay, there's electric guitar photographs of the band members holding electric guitars in the back, so you have to pick it up. That could be fun. Jimmy Make You Ellis. Just Joseph. This is like come out of Fiesta Records out of Broadway with a German titles. I have no idea. Picked it up. Also in Shrink, an Arthur Lyman, Shout of Your Smile. Okay, another fabulous Arthur Lyman album in Shrink. Looks like it's mini fresh. And out of Cincinnati, Ohio, recording out of Hamilton, or living in Hamilton, and recording out of on Artist Records, it's Connie Abner and the Bound for Glory Singers. All right. Wow, what a photograph. Sort of out of focus here and there. You got the giant space up here, and nice snapshot. Lights of Home, the Jordan family. All right. Now this is out of Indiana, Michigan. Stop it, Cold War sign, stay put. There's so many records. The weight of the records is pushing everything back. There could be a catastrophe here in a second. Anyway, look at the bass. Look at the bass guitar on the back. That's pretty awesome. All right, they're out of Indiana. I said that. Okay, go on. And Cheap Records. Speaking of brass, Cheap Brass Records. It's the Mexicali Brass on Crown. But they're doing like Downtown. Other like Fabs, look at that. That's awesome. All right, another sealed gospel record with a great cover. Ay ay ay. The Altar of Prayer, recorded just up the street from me at the Jordan Record Studio, which is still in business as the Jordan recording studio. I could almost walk there from here, you know, without dying, or you know, being run over by a car. Also sealed, it's the Singing Fields. I Am Never Lonely. Well, I'd like to catch up with the Singing Shields as they are today and see how many of them are still not lonely, because I bet at least 1 or 2 of them grew up lonely and are probably still lonely today. On Right Records, right? The Singing Fields on Right. A cover of Beach Boys tunes by the Surfsiders on Design. All right. That'll be fun. Now I have this image. I think it's on a different, it may be the same set but a different release, but it doesn't have this cutout. I thought maybe somebody had just cut that, but they didn't. Topps Mayfair did that so that you could hold the record up and see that it's colored, but they pressed the record on, it is colored vinyl, but it's really deep amber, almost like, well, look, what kind of, you can't, yeah, if you hold it up to the light, you can kind of see it's, so even back in the day, people were like, oh, music has to be better on colored vinyl, just like we think today. People back in the olden days thought they weren't as advanced as us, of course, were much, much better than people that preceded us by far, but they did have some things that were sort of the same of what we like, because we like, oh, red vinyl, that's great. We ought to make all the records on that we read. Never mind. I cut that out because the joke had gone on long enough. I remember a long time ago, back when I first started to try to do my own stuff, I submitted cartoon strip ideas to national newspaper syndicates. This is when newspapers were all but dead. It was bad timing on my part. But one of my ideas went through the first tier. I got a letter that said, we're going to send us up the line because we think something's here. And then I got it back with the rejection notice that said, your jokes are too long. And I couldn't figure out what the hell they meant. But now, watching my own videos, I know exactly what they mean by that. Okay. And the last but not least, just because it happened to be on the bottom of the stack, is an Art Farmer Quintet jazz album. Okay, Art Farmer plays tunes like Mercy, 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 The Watermelon Man, Take 5, and other great jazz hits with his group on this album. Kind of just slid downhill right at the end. The energy just did everything. It just ended right here. Or here! Ha! Come here! I'm going to smote you. Smite you. I've got the smiter. Smote. Smote is past tense of smite. That's right. We'll figure this out in this video. What the hell are you doing with this thing in your hand, Mark? You're threatening, and it's scary when you're threatening and everything. You have a threatening manner about you. Threatening manner. How do you figure that out? It's abstract. Threatening manner is abstract because it could just be like a look. Like there's some people I know that just have a look. They can come in and just sit down and have lunch with you and give you the look, but it's just their regular look. They don't mean anything by it unless they're sort of have this sort of generalized 24/7 threatening demeanor about their manner, which could be. But most people just look the way they look, and inside you're thinking about, well, I think I'll have iced tea. Should I have sweet or unsweetened iced tea today? Well, on the outside you're looking at them and you're thinking there's like a simmering pool of bubbling threat or something under there, and you have to cut that part out too. Oh my God! Go on and on and on. I like this. This is a great thing. Now it doesn't have to be a smoter anymore. I can use it as a topper for something. Okay, I can use it like a topper. I can make a spear out of it. It could be a spearhead, sort of like a religious, spearhead. It can be infused with. Never mind. It could be what? What could it be? What could this be? It could be a topper for something, not like a Christmas tree because it would just. Because it's heavy, okay, and it might not be good for. It's weighted pretty good. It just got a nice weight to it. This thing that I made, nice sort of. You could just, you know what I'm saying?
In a camp of concentration, in a world of war and ruin, where the workers of the devil trying hard this world to ruin, where a worker of God's freedom went before the squad to die. What are your last words, they ask him, and he heavenly reply, you can't cheat me out of heaven, you can't keep me from that home. Praise the holy name of Jesus Christ, who claimed me for his own. Each day I'm going higher, I'll get up there somehow. You can't cheat me out of heaven, by God's help I'll make it now. How could you help believe the story of the Christ who died for all? Shed aside him in all his glory, when his super blessings fall. Do you think that I disown him for a magic world of fame? You can't cheat me out of heaven, all your efforts are in vain. You can't cheat me out of heaven, you can't keep me from that home. Praise the holy name of Jesus Christ, who claimed me for his own. cheek me